Called Misery Row after the coal mines that children used to work in like the turn of the century and industrial age. Timmy, if you don't get up, the boss will have your head. A young boy around 7 or 8 called to the dirty, ragged child that lay before him on the damp concrete. Timmy had been working a double shift, 28 hours straight at the factory. The young girl provided for her family in this factory. None of the businessmen knew. Her hair was cut short and her rags were too loose to be able to identify young Timmy as a girl. Timmy had no choice but to take this job. Her mother was sick at home with 6 other little girls. She was too young to go work at the women's factory. Timmy had to hide her gender from the boss. Timmy earned 5 cents a day, barely enough to feed the adopted Irish babies living in their Polish tenement. After working the first shift, Timmy was tired and hungry. She regretted giving her piece of bread to the other girls to share. She kept her chin up and her stomach quiet, sucking on the collar of her shirt. She pretended it was one of the meals her mom told her about. She could taste the steaming bluska with chunks of cabbages and mushrooms and a big pierogi filled with a potato and garlic mixture. Timmy had gotten so lost in her fantasy, she began to gnaw off part of her ragged shirt. She choked on a piece of cloth that had come off in her shirt and into her mouth. When the machine part she was oiling jerked to life, turning beneath her. The factory was quite dangerous. Young boys would be fired after accidents. A torn-off arm here, a crushed hand there. The machine parts had to be oiled under any and all circumstances. If they were moving, then your hands had to move faster. If they were stopped, then you worked even faster to get all the nooks and crannies before they started to turn again. Many workers complained, but Timmy didn't have time for complaining. She just wanted more money. If she could just buy another loaf of bread, maybe her family wouldn't starve. Maybe her mother would get better. Maybe she wouldn't have to work so hard. Timmy couldn't complain, though. It could be worse. She could be living in one of those orphanage factories where the boss was called Big Daddy, and if you slept on the turning wheels as the machine pumped out the product. Lost in these thoughts, Timmy neglected to see the dumbbell above her spring into action. It struck her as she polished the big cogwheel she was greasing. Her black, oiled hand slipped out from under her. Her lack of sleep and the blow to the back of her head caused her to fall forward onto the damp, hard concrete. It wasn't until another boy was calling out to her that Timmy slowly sat up. Her vision blurry, her arms shaking, her legs felt weak. She stood up just in time to come face to face with the boss. He fired her on the spot. After that, the workers' union strike began. The children worked harder to provide for their families. Factories shut down. The children dropped like flies in factory accidents. A man, Samuel Gompers, came to help the children. He told them what privileges and pay that the boss should be giving them. The children started a strike. Timmy joined them, determined to be able to buy 2 loaves of bread with their pay.